Right edition, welcome and happy day. Last night an old guy watched an old TV and I watched an old movie. It was an old rerun of Perry Mason, lots of old going on. Kind of made me wonder about a lot of things in life though, because when I watched it, the guy came up, the prosecutor I guess he would be, and he painted such a picture that you just wanted to yell out, hang that guy because he's guilty as sin, and we all know it now. And then Perry Mason got up and when he finished, you said, wow, the prosecutor should be ran out of town because that guy's innocent and how dare he say bad things about him. It kind of goes to show there's two sides to every story. Hey, crack smoking Toronto mayor now, that would be Rob Ford. He said, I smoke crack, I get drunk sometimes, and I do bad things in cha-cha. His ratings have actually gone up. His ratings now are much higher than President Okami's. Hey, imagine that. Maybe Okami better go out and start smoking crack. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the Edmonton Police Service there now is about ready to reveal a prototype headscarf for Muslims. If you want to be a policeman and you're a Muslim, we'll make a special headscarf for you. And this has all kind of been pushed by a city councilor. His name is Scott McKean. And he says, you know what, I help immigrants settle in Edmonton, and this is a gesture of inclusion toward the Muslim community. Okay, we're trying to adapt now to all the immigrants. I kind of think they should adapt to us. When you go to Rome, you kind of learn how to speak Roman. You know what I mean. Years ago, that was kind of said. That's just wrong. I mean, every time somebody comes from a different country, you're going to do a special concession or build something special for them or do something. You know what? That ain't right, politically speaking, and well, morally and ethically. Pick all your verbiage. That's just dumb, and it's expensive as well. And the regular taxpayers, the people who were here first, the settlers, not the immigrants, they gotta pay for all this nonsense. If you don't like the headwear, don't be a cop, or better yet, just y'all can go home now. Here's a federal judge in the U.S. He's slamming the prosecution that hasn't happened for Wall Street executives, and he says this is a scathing remark that he has said. I can't even go on to read it all because it would take too long, but the bottom line is, he says, you've allowed Wall Street executives to escape criminal prosecutions. I wonder if he's up on all of his facts or not. What about Madoff? And there's a whole string of guys that are in jail a lot longer than murderers. Some murderers get 10 or 15 years. These guys, some of them are in jail for 35 or 40 years or forever and ever. Not too sure what he's talking about. Forbes magazine, kind of a big magazine, kind of a powerhouse, and they're calling now for the impeachment of President Barack Obama for violations of the Constitution. Pretty involved verbiage here that they're saying, and it kind of makes a pretty good case. They're saying this guy shouldn't be president, he's doing bad things, he's got to go, let's get rid of him now. Hey, there's a lot of people saying, we agree with you. The Obama administration recently has announced they lost $139 million on a loan to an electric car maker called Fisker Automotive. What are y'all doing lending money? And, oh, I know, because you're a socialist. That's what socialism is about. You take money from all these people, you give it to those people, and everybody loses it except your cronies, and they have big bank accounts in other countries. I'm digressing, but the point is they have no business being a business because they think they're smart. They ain't so smart. They proved that, just recently also with a solar panel maker. That company's name was Soldra. Probably not pronouncing that correctly, but that one cost them $528 million. And again, when the government says they lost $500 million, typically it's a lot more than that. They use different accounting than you and I use, and there's a long list. This is just a couple of things that we get to hear about. I mean, these guys are running amok. He's trying to change America. He's kind of doing a pretty good job of changing America. I sure hope somebody can change it back. Here's a husband recently. People, they walk among us. He got drunk. He sat with his wife. She got drunk. They got drunk together. They sat on their sofa drinking until she passed out. And then he took all her clothes off. What a guy. And then he broadcast it on PlayStation 4. Duh. Pretty good husband, huh? What do you do with him? Then another guy paraded around with guns and others paraded around naked. These are other people unrelated to the crazy husband. So PlayStation users now, they're exploiting and they're defiling this live stream feature. And what's going to happen now, there'll be all kinds of rules and censorship things, all because of a couple of goofs. That's too bad. Did you know? Every baby born in the United States of America has $50,000 worth of debt when they hit the ground. When they hit the ground. Good work, Okami. My. That's not very nice. As a majority of voters in Florida now are saying President Obama, we view him as being untrustworthy. What a shock that is. Why are we having polls like that? I mean, all you got to do is look at old polls and go out and talk to people. Polls actually are for strippers or dogs anyway, typically, but in this case, they kind of do have a reflection of what people think and want. And they want Congress and all these people, senators, etc., Get out of here. Get other people in who can be statespeople to make it work properly. You guys aren't doing a very good job. The lowest ratings of all time, I think, is for the overall system. So it's not a shock to find out that they don't think that the president is trustworthy, because clearly I say. Let me end today with this. Senior citizens, you know what? You need to understand them. Here's something that will help you. My wife and I went out to a restaurant recently, and it was a $2.99 special for breakfast. So yeah, it was kind of cool. So my wife says, I'll have that, but I don't want the eggs, and then I'll have to charge you $3.49 because you're ordering a la carte, the waitress warned her. You mean I have to pay for not taking the eggs? My wife said. She was quite taken back, and she said, yes, said the waitress. I mean, that's what we do here. I'll take the special then, my wife said. How do you want your eggs? Raw and in the shell. She took them home and she baked the cake. You all come back tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.